So my name is Thuy and I work in tech.
When I think IT and tech, I think you're just sitting at a computer coding all day and writing all this really cool code. Is that kind of what you do or not really?
No,
is there any elements?
Yeah, so I think that is a misconception that a lot of people have with tech, that you have to be a developer to work in tech or you code all day if you work in tech. But if you think about any business, there are so many moving parts. So yeah, don't be, I guess, put off that tech is just coding, which is like really cool already.
Yeah.
But there's so much more that you can do in tech that is not coding.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Can you code?
Yes, I do. I can code in Python, C, which I learned in high school. I'm learning R at the moment, and also MATLAB. But I mean, R is just like a big calculator, right?
So with all of these things that you're juggling at work, I want to know, how do you maintain a work-life balance?
I would say I have an incredible work-life balance.
You really do.
Yeah.
I agree.
I feel so lucky. Work in tech, everyone. That's not true for all tech roles. It's just I guess I make time for all the things that I want in life, and I've always felt like I am more than my job, because your job is just a fraction of who you are as a person, and the rest are your interests, your hobbies, the people you care about, what you do outside of work, what brings you joy that is not work. So yeah, I feel like I have a really, really good work-life balance, and I'm into a lot of things.
Tell me some of the things you're into.
Yeah, so I'm quite active.
You are?
Yeah. I surf. Surfing's a really big part of my life. Rock climb, that's also a big part of my life. Yoga, I do yoga pretty much every day. And I run, because lockdown here in Australia, I run fitness classes for you guys.
Yeah, so do some house workouts. It's great. Keeps me in shape.
And I just think it's so important to look after your body, because you only have the one body. It does so much for you. So yeah, spending time to look after it. I'm kind of into a lot of things. For like a brief period, I would just get really, really into something and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Okay, so you've mentioned your surfing and your climbing hobbies, both of which are very, I guess, like outdoorsy and very physical. And I guess for a lot of women, there's quite a high barrier to entry. Tell me more about it.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And like surfing, for example, there are so many instances. I would say the majority of my surfing experience, I would be the only girl out in the water. And for climbing, the hardest crushers of the gym are guys. But I think it takes a certain mindset, I guess. But I just want to let all the women out there know that, I don't know what I'm going to say.
I guess what you taught me because you taught me how to surf, essentially. You're in the process of teaching me how to surf. And I guess for me, the biggest thing to overcome was the fear of looking silly and not being good at something from the outset and being a novice. And for a lot of women, and we were talking about this before, we hold ourselves to such high standards and don't really let ourselves fail, because there's no room for that in a lot of areas of our lives.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It's this perfectionism. It's not about being perfect, but it's striving for something that is not achievable because you think you have to be at that level to do something. And I think that we should embrace failures, because that's when you learn a lot. Because if you're just good at something all the time, you're not learning, you're just doing it. And I think for a long time, I was that person who was afraid to
like scared of trying new things.
Yeah. I was scared of not being good at something. But now I see that as a learning opportunity. It's how I know that I need to work better on something. And I don't think that the best thinkers in the world think they are the best at everything. The best thinkers in the world are always looking at how they can improve.
So it seems like your, I guess the driving forces in your life are a lot to do with health and fitness and well-being and improvement and kind of personal development. What would you have said that the driving forces were 5-10 years ago versus now? Have they changed at all? Have your goals changed?
Yeah, for sure. I was a completely different person 5 to 10 years ago. And I think back then I was focused on being a good daughter to my parents. They had very high expectations of who they wanted me to be. But then after starting university, I just thought, I just want to have fun. Yeah,
Girls just want to have fun.
Yeah, for sure. This life thing, people always say that life is short, but I feel like life is long. So you should do all the things that you want to do. You have time. So that's what I did. I took a year out of university, kind of midway through my degree, and I travelled, and that was when I worked on the surf camp and fell in love with surfing. And so that person is still very much the me today, but I've probably matured a little bit and less rash on certain decisions, I would say. But yeah.
I know that you're quite an advocate for the simple life. Can you describe what the simple life is and why you're an advocate for it?
Yeah, I think there is, because of social media, you see so many of people living fancy lives. They're in dream holiday destinations, taking photos of their bum, and it's true. It's true. And you can't help but feel like you're missing out on something. But that is so...
It's always something else you want.
Yeah, exactly. That's so far from the truth. There is nothing wrong with wanting the most simple pleasures in your life, like staying in on a Friday night, hanging out with your family, hanging out with the people you care about, not going to that party because you're feeling tired, or just accept that success for other people looks different to what your success is. So, someone else who's my age might be buying a house and having kids, and that's really great for them, but that's not my success.
That's so true. Yeah, no, I've never thought of it like that. Yeah, success comes in many different forms.
Yeah, totally. Don't fall into the rat race.
Yeah, I think you're slowly pulling me out of it as well. Yeah. I think ever since I met you, I've swiveled my kind of goals as well to be less of the rat race as well.
Yeah, because everyone's life is so different, and I think there is a prescribed life model that society gives you, especially in the first world country. And I know that we're so lucky to be living in Australia, where things are mostly easy, and so you feel as though you've got to tick all of these boxes as you live life. You grow up, you go to university, you get a job, you buy a house, you find a partner, you have kids, you settle down, and then
eventually retire at 65, 70.
But what about the in-between moments? It's like, how do you want to live? Do you want to live like that, or do you want to write your own story? That sounds really cheesy, but
no, totally. Yeah, that's cool. Good advice. So with all of that in mind, what advice would you give your 20-year-old self about how to spend the next decade?
My 20-year-old self.
Would you have changed anything?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I am incredibly content with the last 6 years and how I spent it. Maybe take more time off.
Yeah,
because I think I was really concentrated in studies, and that was a main priority for me. And despite taking that year off, I learned so much in that 1 year that no school could ever teach you. So maybe I'd take another year off.
Yeah, cool. How do you prioritize your life? Do you have a really strict routine? Do you allow for any impulsivity?
So I find that having a routine Monday to Friday really helps me just do what I do, and that means having a morning routine where I do yoga and meditate before I work, especially given the current climate as well. It's incredibly good for my mental well-being because it's been a roller coaster the last few months, and just installing that in your life gives you stability, something to look forward to, something that you don't have to think about, you just do, and it makes you feel good. And then I think my main priorities in life would be my relationships with the people in my life, and then my mental and physical well-being, because at the end of the day, that's really all you have. Like, no amount of luxury goods could compare to, the best things in your life, which are other people and yourself.
Do you have any final remarks? I mean, you've given a lot of advice to people. I feel like you don't even need to say anything else, but do you have anything else that you would want to say, to people watching?
I think have fun. There's just, people are always so fixated on being successful and making lots of money and, all that stuff. But it's like, have fun. Do what you like to do, not what other people like to do. Go out there, put yourself out there, learn a new skill, pick up something weird and fun, get really into it.
Yeah.
Be curious about all the possibilities. Sometimes I would sit and just think, wow, like how cool is the world? There are so many things out there, so many things that you can learn. It's like, how do I have the time? Just find the time, do something cool. Yeah, and start today. It doesn't have to be something grand. Yeah, it's not mosquito.
Oh, it is. Oh my God, it's mosquito season. No. Oh, on the white side of the pillow.
It's all good.